You're now live.
Okay, I'll just wait till Aaron gets seated. Is the screen going to come up, Shelley, or not? Good afternoon. It is now 1 o'clock on January the 9th. You're at the regular council meeting of the Mohawks, the Bay of Quinte. Before we start, I would like to ask join our hearts and minds and spirits together today to thank the Creator for all His goodness and kindness through life. And on behalf of the council and our administration, I would like to offer condolences to our Secretary Shelley Bowden and the passing of her brother, to former Chief William J. Brandt's family, to Linda Miracle's family, and to the late Jimmy Carter's family. We celebrate their life and all their contributions that they all made to make life better. We ask that happy memories and God's peace bring them comfort at this time, and may their souls rest in peace. Yeah, well, we have before the minutes have the council agenda has been adopted. It was moved by Aguari and seconded by Aaron, and that motion was carried earlier today. And so we are now at item number 2, the December 18th, 2024 council minutes. Are there any errors, omissions, or corrections? And I just have one in motion 4 to put in Dr. Adelstein Brown, who is the dean of the Dalalana Public School Public Health in Toronto College there, and those are the only correction that I have. Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
Me arriving late only have to be listed once, not 2 or 3 times.
So what is there an amendment to the minutes? How would you like it to read?
You only have to document I was late 1 time. You don't have to put it at the beginning of the meeting. You don't have to put it at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Sorry, so with that way, because I was questioned the last time, and it didn't show when, during the meeting, when it was came or last.
Oh, that's the...
To make sure that it was in the minute, the motion, but when you go live or...
Yeah, I think it's to show that you were not part of the discussions or motions that were there already made before you got there.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of it.
And a point for a second item, Chief. I
Yes.
think the meeting before that, I declared a conflict of interest regarding the makeup of the committee for the Housing Selection Committee. My son did not appreciate Chief and Council putting his name and address out there. That was not appreciated.
Okay, I apologize for that, Chris, but I thought it was important to recognize there's so many Chris Miracles,
Okay, but in those minutes, I believe
so they would know who's on the committee.
okay, but I declared a conflict of interest, Chief,
Okay,
and I
and
believe it's not in the minutes.
okay, we can add that.
Okay, and furthermore, I want it noted, Chief, I want it noted that the decision at that meeting to have non-natives on our Housing Selection Committee, I categorically do not accept that. I do not believe non-native should be deciding which Mohawks live in this community. And that's potentially, when you put non-natives in charge of that selection committee, they should not be determining which Mohawks live in this community. And I don't think the community is going to accept it. And I want to go on the record, I don't support that.
Okay, then
but I
what
was in a
would-
conflict of interest, so I could not participate. And on conflict of interest, I believe moving forward, folks that are in a conflict of interest should not participate in discussions.
On that topic.
On that topic, you declare a conflict of interest, you don't discuss it, you don't lead a discussion, you don't have chime in and discuss and then declare conflict. You're not supposed to participate. Anybody.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
That is the rule, and normally if you have a conflict of interest, I've seen council members just not participate, but I've also seen council members absent themselves from the room. Well, that's just under discussion.
I don't see any of that in the minutes. Where is that, Chris?
What are you talking about?
What you're talking about, where is that in the minutes?
Did council not approve of a rental selection committee?
I'm asking you where that is
Where's
in
in
the
the
minutes.
minutes that's under review, December
You
18th.
said you wanted that
A point of
changed.
order, when we are talking about minutes,
So you're not specifically talking about the 18th minutes then?
I want a point of order regarding the meeting before that,
Okay,
where the discussions were held regarding the selection
Okay,
committee for the
so-
Mohawks Bay Quinte rental homes, and I do not support, I could not voice
Okay,
my
then.
opinion then because I abstained.
Okay.
But I want it on the record now, I do not support non-native
Okay.
determining Mohawks living.
Okay, we can put that as a note in the council minutes and from the previous minutes. We'll have to reference what minutes you're talking about because that's not in the minutes of December
I
18th.
know that, Chief. I
Okay.
know, so I have to do a search, or I'll go do it right now. It's 2 meetings before that, but I want to be on the record.
Okay.
I do not support non-native determining which Mohawks live in
Okay,
this
then
community.
after we accept these minutes or correct the minutes at hand, which is what we're talking about now, we will add that notation in afterwards.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay, so what we are on now is the minutes of December the 18th. Are there any corrections, errors, omissions to the minutes of December the 18th? I just have one, just put Dr. Adelstein Brown and then his title there. And I have not scheduled the meeting with him yet. I was sick over the Christmas holidays. I was also unable to go to Chief Tim Thompson's funeral because I had a very bad cold and I was sick at the time. But we did send flowers. I did phone and offer our condolences to his family.
To Chief Thompson, Chief Thompson?
To Chief Vince
Okay.
Thompson. So apart from that, do you have any corrections or errors, Chris?
No.
Kurt, Chip, do you have any? Aaron?
Nope.
Chris? Linda? Ogari? Okay, can we have a motion to accept the minutes as corrected?
I'll motion.
I'll second, Chief.
Chris Brandt and Curtis Brandt. Is there anyone opposed? Seeing none, the minutes are accepted as corrected. The next order of business, is there any business arising from these minutes? Ogari?
Nope.
Linda? Chris?
No, Chief.
Aaron? Curtis? Chris? Okay, we'll just note that there's none. No business arising from the minutes. Meetings outside of the territory. I've been approved in the last minutes to go and meet with Dr. Stady Brown. I will do that. I'll set up a meeting probably later on Friday for later in this month. And so that's to be scheduled yet. I'm feeling a little bit better now, so I'll do that. The other thing, I think we've been approved to go to the OpenPA meeting in Aurelia. Is anybody else going to that meeting? Are you going, Aguari? It's to discuss the mental health of the police service, First Nation and the OpenPA. It's in January the 14th, I think it is.
14th to 17th.
I'm going to go for the one day, then I have to go, I'll go to Iroquois Caucus after. It's supposed to be, I thought, a 2-day meeting. But the first day they're supposed to discuss, there's a report going to be tabled tomorrow on for the consultant report on mental health for First Nations policing. So I have notified our officers that that report will be forthcoming, but it's about anybody who's in the OpenPA, the lack of probably mental health services for First Nations constables. So that's in the works, and I will share that with you when I get it. We should put it on the agenda and probably have a discussion with our chief of police about it to see if there's any, it's wholesome enough to what their views are on it. And but it's very important that they have high stress jobs, and of course there can be a lot of issues that come from that affect their health and the nature of the work they do. So, but that's forthcoming, and we'll discuss that when we get the report. So meetings outside the territory there's just one, the AI hybrid governance gathering on February the 19th to the 20th in Rama. Are you going, I will attend. Are you attending, Linda? So it'll be approved for Chief and Linda Miracle to attend, Linda Lewine to attend. Linda Lewine. Sorry, Linda,
That's okay.
you're not a miracle yet.
She's a wannabe.
It's,
Maybe later in life.
it's a miracle I wasn't.
So we need a motion then to approve Linda and I's attendance at that.
Motion.
What is it?
19th and 24th.
January?
February. So it's been moved by Chris Miracle to approve Linda and I's attendance at the AI hybrid governance gathering.
And Chip second.
Second it, Chief.
Are you going? Anybody else going?
That's a virtual one as well, right?
Is it virtual? Good.
Isn't it? Isn't it a virtual one as well? Because I think I was gonna.
Is it,
ask if I
Charlie,
could attend
virtual?
virtually.
Yes, Oh,
February?
February.
Yeah, I got it on my calendar too, February 19th for regular.
Well, that's not
business.
going to work then.
When we switch it to like the 17th or 18th of that week?
Is that a virtual meeting, Charlie, or is it going to be I thought I saw something about booking rooms.
So did I.
You can go in person, but I thought it also said that you could go,
Probably is.
yeah, because I was like, oh, I wonder if I can just book in one on.
The only thing I find about the hybrid meeting, sometimes it's hard to hear
It is.
what other people are
It
saying
says
around
hybrid.
around the table, so you can usually hear the speaker, but when other people, they're offering their opinions on topics, you can't hear what they're saying.
They don't have.
It's hybrid, it's not in person then.
It's in person. Hybrid.
Okay, because I did see something of the booking rooms or something.
Yeah, it's a hybrid, so you can do in person or online.
Well, we've got council, so will we reschedule council then to a different day?
Mhm.
And like, well, it's good to discuss these governance issues that you need all the tools of governance to work. Like you need an enforcement mechanism, you need a prosecution, you're going to have laws that need to be enforced. And right now, we don't have those two vital things in place in First Nations communities. And there is funding available under like a pilot type project. There is some funding to hire like a lawyer to do some of this work, but again, we need to apply for it. Lisa's is aware of it. And I don't know whether we've applied for any funds for that new initiative. Do you know, Angela?
Sorry, so what?
For justice, for enforcement of First Nations laws. There was funding. I did circulate the email around to the staff and council. Is there going to be, are we making an application for any funding?
I don't know, Chief, I'll have to.
Okay.
I didn't do the application.
I haven't
but
signed
don't know.
anything off, so I don't know what the plan is, but I think we should. We have bylaws to draft and there's work to be done, that they could be working on that.
I proposed that in 2020 when we were before the.
And then-
pandemic, and I
then
was
s-
told that now we don't have anybody to enforce it, so why would we do that? And I was like, to bring them up to date? The council.
But I think we still need to, instead of sticking our head in the sand, we still need to be working on it. And
That's what I was saying.
so
But yeah, I'll find out, I'll find.
if
out.
if there's still funding available, Jackie Lombardi from the Chiefs of Ontario Justice can probably let you know who the contacts are. Curtis,
I'll go with that. I'll go with it.
you're going to go? Okay.
To what?
So
Oh, the AIA going?
okay, so it'll be the motion for myself, Curtis, and Linda to attend, and it's moved by Chris and seconded by, are you going to second the motion, Curtis?
Sure.
Okay, the motion is carried then.
I'm sorry, Chief, what was the name of the Chiefs of Ontario you mentioned?
Jackie Lombardi.
Jackie Lombardi? And you did say Chiefs of Ontario, correct?
Hmm?
You said Chiefs of Ontario?
Chiefs of Ontario.
Thank you.
And then also, Chief, with those meetings outside the territory, did we put in our calendar about the ISO meeting? Our lobby meeting on the 20th?
Yeah, we have a meeting on January the 20th.
Yeah, that's,
So I will be attending that meeting. Who will be attending? Curtis and Linda?
yeah,
Any
we
other
already
members
have
of
our
council
tickets.
attending the lobby meeting for our capital stuff? So Curtis, Linda and I? We'll need a motion for that. Can we include that in the same motion with the
Is that the morning of the 20th?
9 o'clock?
9:30 till noon. Toronto. I'm gonna check in both. What's that? I can attend, but I can.
You're going to go? So it'll be Curtis, Linda, Oguari, and myself. Anybody else want to go to the meeting? Available? Anyone else?
I have to confirm, Chief, I have a job.
Okay, that's fine. And others are working, understand. So we'll need a motion for that. Or can we just, will the mover and seconder include that in the previous motion?
Sure.
Okay, we'll just include it in the previous motion then. Anybody opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. Now with the meeting on the 19th of February, are we going to reschedule that so we can attend those meetings?
I'm good for either the 17th or the 18th.
Are you going to do that one virtually then? Not attending really? We're going to go in person because you can't hear. I tried to do the
Yeah,
virtual meeting and you
I'd rather
cannot
be there in
hear.
person. 'Cause I got hard, it's hard for me to hear. Hear. Yeah, I have hearing aids, but even on that virtual, it's hard for my hearing aids to pick that up.
You
especially
can't
when
hear
there's-
what the people or participants are saying.
Raised it up yesterday. I can find the end of the month.
Oh, do you?
I don't know how expensive they are.
So when you can't hear what they're saying, you don't know whether the comments you're making, whether they're on point or off point. So the 17th or 18th of February, do you want to have, which day would you prefer? They're open.
17th?
The 17th,
17th's good for me.
and that's the regular council, right?
Yeah.
So regular council is now the 17th?
The 17th.
17th rather than the 19th?
Yeah, because on the 19th we'll be down to Rama.
It says that's Family Day. Is that a holiday here?
Yes.
Where? Oh, that's Family Day. Oh, cool.
Then it'll have to be the 18th then.
Yeah. Thanks, Aaron. I didn't even see that.
Is the 18th good for everybody then?
Yep.
And if we get it over with by noon, then we can,
And then just also to confirm with everybody, we are having our Naboko on the 13th of January. We're gonna have the local on the 13th.
Oh, yeah, Monday.
Because we're gonna be at Iroquois Caucus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that.
all right, okay, great.
So 18th.
So we need a mover and seconder then to make the council, change the council day from the 18th from the 19th. Who will move?
Chief.
Moved by Aguirre, who will second it?
I'll second,
Curtis?
Chief.
Anyone opposed? Seeing not, the motion is carried.
And I also just want to give a note to council that on the 28th of January, I can only be in council till noon. I'm going for my eye evaluation.
On what
I have
day?
pressure behind my eye,
On the 28th of,
January. And then on February the 14th is my surgery.
okay, we'll note that in the minutes then, that she'll only be here till noon.
Lasers.
Okay, good.
You don't need to send
My
out a
son
meeting
had that,
notice,
really
now
works.
Shelley can.
Yeah, my brother had
Okay.
to.
Just note that she's given council notice that she won't be here.
You sent it to everybody.
Oh,
I will follow in.
I was just trying to put it in my own calendar.
Yeah. I jump right into your.
Okay, that's good. Okay, thank you.
It just makes it
Okay, cancel.
difficult, so that way if we have people coming in, you're the organizer, not her.
Oh, I see. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
And also,
Are you having PhD local on the 13th? You're gonna travel up to Grandma for the other game on the local gate. Are you traveling that same day? But then the travel day, right? It's there. Yeah.
I think that that would just be for the chief because he's the only one going.
Shelley.
I deleted the event. It's deleted,
Oh.
Shelley.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, perfect.
and then also, Chief, there is an AI Health Transformation meeting in Toronto on the 4th and 5th of February.
And who's supposed to go to that? Is that the directors or is that the council?
Directors, chief, and councilors.
What was it called?
It's called the AI Health Transformation, and it'll be held in Brampton on the 4th and 5th at the Hilton Garden Inn.
It's in my calendar all day, but at the Hilton Hotel in Brampton, yes.
Yes. So I'll be going to that too, Chief.
Well, the 5th is the council meeting.
That's why I brought it up.
So what, I guess, are we going to reschedule the council meeting then to the 6th or 7th? Well, we've got this
But the
Alan.
7th is for that Alan Pratt, right?
So what about the 6th then?
Where did they not say that they were gonna look at?
They're
six
looking
and
at
six
this-
Or 7, so you can't just,
What about the 3rd then? The 3rd instead of the 5th, does that work for everyone? February 3rd?
Oh, I won't be here.
You won't be there? Be here? That's the regular council meeting. Is there any, does the 3rd work, or do you want to put it over till the next week to have it maybe on the 11th? Does the 11th work for everyone?
Now, which one is this changing, Chief?
from the 5th.
The 5th, we need the 5th because there's a conflict with the other meetings, so we need to reschedule them February the 5th. So the 5th, does the 11th of February work for everyone?
Yes, that works
Yes.
for me.
Is there anyone who it doesn't work for?
11th? And is this local or is this,
No, council.
Regular council.
so it's not on the 18th now?
It's not on the 5th,
But they're still regular on the 18th?
correct? No, the only meeting we're changing is the 5th. We're
Yeah,
changing
and
the 5th to
18th
the
one is Still
11th.
good, Chris.
Thank you.
You're
Pardon
welcome.
me?
The 18th one is still good.
Thank you.
Only the 5th is being changed to the 11th. So if that's agreeable to everyone, we'll need a motion to do that.
I'll move.
Who will second it?
I'll second.
Oguare, is there anybody opposed? Seeing none, so the council meeting of February the 5th has now been rescheduled till the 11th.
And then there's another one that's for outside that has been put in from AFLDC.
And when is that?
That's in February, but I can't remember the date.
It would be good if they would consult the communities on these meeting dates, these organizations, so otherwise we're juggling around there.
Don't you have any information on that, Chris?
Which one are you talking about?
The AFLDC awards.
That's in Thunder Bay.
Yes, but
It's
it
not-
isn't in February?
I believe so. But what's on the Wednesday? Is that a 14th?
Okay,
No.
so will you be attending that, Chris? Because I think if we send one representative, that's enough.
Well, I already canceled because I thought we had council.
February 14th is a Friday.
Yeah.
Oh,
14th is
no,
Friday.
it's on the agenda.
What day is it going to be, Linda, for these awards, the LTC awards?
That's what I'm trying to find. You said it's already on the agenda?
I seen it, but
This is the housing award, right?
It's an award for
Oh,
ALFDC.
my calendar here, oh, my teams.
Is that the tiny home award?
This
I have no
calendar.
idea.
think
Chris
so. I
submitted
think
it on
so.
behalf
I
of
think it
everybody,
is.
but we
It's
didn't
the
know anything
tiny
about
house.
I
it.
think it is, yes.
Chris?
I did believe I seen it.
The award is for the tiny houses, right?
Yes.
The whole initiative, training in-house,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so I've already did a video skit for it, so
Yeah, that's what she said that you did.
so maybe that can be shown instead of attending in person, unless, would you send a representative up there? It will cost money.
She said that they're flipping the whole bill.
Yeah, I did see that too.
Yeah, so
They're flipping all the expenses for any counselor that would like to go in for yourself, chief.
They said for 2.
Yeah, for 2 people, but I can't go because I have a conflict.
Okay, so then when is it then? Why is it in Thunder Bay? It would be nice if it was in
They
Toronto.
have them in Thunder Bay every year, the last 25 years.
It should come south once in a while.
Called the Northern Housing Conference. You wanna hold
They
this
don't
up?
have a Southern Housing Conference?
No,
I think, just what you've already done is good enough for representation.
they can
Unless
use the
somebody
video.
wants to go
I'm sure they can use the video then.
I'm not.
Ask Oguari, because he's the housing portfolio holder and didn't know anything about it.
I'm going on vacation. Be on vacation.
Fair?
So what day is it going to be, Linda?
I thought, I can't find that date now.
Do you know what date it's going to be, Chris?
It's on my computer and I have it in my workbook.
Okay.
Just pull up, the Northern Housing Conference. It's-
'Cause I was thinking it was around the same time as I have to go to this AI health.
February 4th to
Transformation.
6th,
4th to the 5th.
4th to the 6th.
Yeah, see, I figured there was a conflict.
So we have a conflict, so I guess we'll have to use the video then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is.
All right.
Are you away then, Ogwari?
So could we take a break for a half an, no, we're at 1:30, and the reason being is we have to discuss the furnishings for the long-term care at 1:30 with somebody. Can you ask Tom how long that will take?
It looks like they booked an hour. Charlie, I just answered. It looks like he booked it, or they booked an hour for it.
Well, just let Tom know that we're still in council session and he can brief me on it, so later, unless they have to decide today,
Unless they move the meeting.
unless they can move it to reschedule to later this afternoon.
I told them yesterday or the day before that it was in conflict with the council meeting.
Okay. So the next item of business is the MBQ Town of Deseron Communication Protocol. So Curtis and I attended a meeting with the town. So when there's issues that go on, then they know who they're supposed to talk to. That's all this really is. To have clear communications between the two, because there was an incident with a vehicle running into, I think, a fire hydrant or something on
Sorry.
the Bay Shore Road, and then there was a lack of.
Just before we move from the meetings outside the territory, did we confirm that nobody's attending that symposium in Thunder Bay?
Well, what I suggested we do, I have a video, they would just use that.
Okay.
Yep, good with me.
Yep, good for me.
We're represented, because they've
Okay.
done that
I don't feel like
sometimes.
going to Thunder Bay.
Fair game. I just wondered. I
And
wanted
really
to
don't wanna
confirm.
fly.
Okay. Especially when the winter, it makes it so inconvenient. The summer's not too bad when you got all that driving in the winter.
Guess you don't know what's gonna run.
And they always have to have it in Timbuktu when it's the winter months. Okay, so we need a motion then, I guess, to approve the signing of this protocol. We'll approve. Tom, are they choosing furnishings today, or what's happening with that? They're choosing? Down in Deseronto.
I'll make a motion, Chief.
I'll
Curtis
second it.
and Aaron. It's just really a communication. The other thing, did the insurance pay for the fire hydrant repairs? Or ran into it and damaged it?
They were going after the operator of the car. So I didn't hear any more on it, Chief.
Can we just get a report? I just want to know, did that person that ran it?
No, not to our insurance. It was going through the insurance of the car, of the
I know,
the
but I
owner.
want to know, did that happen?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Because normally we would engage somebody to repair it, we'd pay the bill, then we would want reimbursement.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think,
So I want to know if that's how it was dealt with, then did we get reimbursed?
And any kind of vehicle accidents always go through insurance. One insurance goes after the other.
That isn't what happened with Ruby Moon's fence. They ran into it and then she had to pay to have it fixed. She couldn't get the information about who ran into her fence to deal with it
Well, from the police, our police.
because it's
they
confidential.
have them right then.
It's confidential. So she doesn't know who ran into her fence, so she has no recourse. I mean, that isn't right that a senior would have to pay.
That doesn't seem right.
we went through that, chief, numerous times on number 2.
Or you had to pay?
No, well, my aunt and grandmother, yeah,
That
fixed
isn't
their
right.
fence.
At least you should have the insurance name and who's the policyholder is so you know who's responsible for the damage. And if the insurance won't pay, then you should be able to sue them.
Well, we did. We wouldn't give them back their license plate because it was still up in the tree. On the last one. I'm just saying, this is what happened the last one. The tree ended up the car ended up halfway up in the tree. The front end.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we knew who did it because we kept the plate and the bumper. So,
Okay, so is anybody opposed to signing the protocol agreement with the town of Toronto for communication? Okay, motion is carried. We have some business registrations here for Little Owl. So Little Owl is the, Melanie Graves, the owner. It's a arts and crafts studio. Fire inspection completed. Insurance is not required. Does council approve?
almost.
I'll
Ogwari,
second.
I'll second, chief.
Curtis?
What did you?
No, Aaron.
Aaron did.
Okay, I heard Curtis's voice. Sorry, Aaron.
That's fine. No
So I go by
problem.
what I hear. So the motion is, anybody opposed?
Nope.
Okay, motion is carried.
No, it's okay. We're on the same page.
I'll keep quiet.
Business registration for Randy's Leather.
I was just a quick question, like, insurance is not, required? What is that? Like, if somebody has a business and they don't have to have insurance on the business, or like, why is it?
Business insurance, they would have probably insurance on their private property, because if somebody slips and falls on your property, then you're liable.
Yeah, so why is insurance not required on any of the, I mean,
We've had this discussion before with the economic development staff, and I don't recall the reason. But before, we used to require everybody to have insurance.
I would have thought that we, I think we should
Just have to be a
have,
policy change.
we should do a policy change.
We have to have a
that
meeting on
it
what it
does-
is you guys want, so that way we can do our policy.
I think that the businesses should have shown that they have insurance.
Well, it used to be that way, but the
I-
council approved a change.
I did show insurance that I had insurance on my charter business.
Chris?
To Chris's point, if you issue a permit, someone slips and falls and will get something at someone's house. If they don't have house insurance nor business insurance, will MBQ
Can you bring-
be on the hook?
Can you bring this?
Because shotgun effect, they sue everybody.
Yeah.
We're the only ones with insurance, and we'll be that full in the bag potentially.
This printer was primarily about environmental insurance for gas stations. Can you bring the staff in, Angela, to clarify that?
I think that all of the businesses that if they're a building or if they're a business, for protection of themselves, they should prove that they have insurance.
It used to be that way, but the council approved a change in policy.
Well, I think we should change it back. That's this council. I don't know what you guys think. I mean, like for myself, I have a business. I have insurance and I proved that I have insurance. I brought my insurance papers in here.
But what
Wait,
if
what
you
happened?
what if there's a person who has a business in the community and it's all online? Where's the liability?
Harm still can come to people online.
No, I mean, when I have a company, my own company, Lewin Distribution, and all I do is ship out parcels. What liability do I have?
Does, who comes and gets that parcel? And-
I do it all by myself.
Okay,
It-
so,
I don't, nobody comes to my house. Nobody.
all right,
Nobody comes to my house.
so what insurance do you have then?
It's through my house.
Well, so what if, you,
I just told my house insurance that I have a business in my son's house, and we
Right.
just added to the insurance. But I didn't register here.
oh, so it's.
I didn't register
But-
here.
but
My
We're
it's
talking
business is
about
not
insurance,
registered
We're
with
talking
NBQ.
about insurance.
My
Why,
business is
some
registered
businesses don't
with the
require
Ontario
insurance.
But you know what we're talking about, you're
I did
one
too.
of a kind, and you're a one of a kind business. Not every other business on here
Yeah, I know,
is
but I'm
not
just
like
saying, when
yours.
you do that policy change, we have to look at that too.
Well, do you have insurance on your business?
Okay.
No,
You
Okay.
don't insure all your parcels?
no, the post office does.
Okay, listen,
Okay, well,
so
I hope you, I wish you the best.
if we can get back on top.
Since I've been
Okay,
here,
Chris?
oh, sorry.
I have a question for you. You'll have to research it. Can you look into if someone runs a business from home,
I just got to step up for a second.
if they don't necessarily need a full-fledged business insurance, will their home insurance cover them if somebody slips and falls, want to get something from that business out of their house? And if they don't have insurance, will MBQ be on the hook liability-wise because we issued the permit knowing they have no insurance? And particularly if there's hazards on site we don't know about,
If
but
we
we
put it-
issue a permit, and then someone can say, gross negligence, you issued a permit to somebody, hazards in place, and you didn't mitigate that. So are we on the hook if nobody has insurance? That's my question.
Okay.
Okay?
If we put it in the policy, then we're acknowledging that we're taking responsibility. If you don't put it in the policy, it's on, the onus is on that individual, and they make the choice whether they want to insure their business.
So you mean we're pleading ignorance?
No,
So
it's,
for us to approve a business to become a business, we should have those businesses proven that they have insurance for the business.
right.
So that's why Chris is saying that it's keeping us from approving them as a business and they don't have insurance, so somebody comes back after us.
So we had a chart that was approved before I got here. The policy was updated, a chart was created, various categories of businesses. And certain categories require insurance and certain ones do not. I did not have any input
Right.
into
Well, what Chris is saying, maybe that's outdated and doesn't meet our needs. Just because we did something in the past doesn't mean it suits our future needs.
Okay, so now what I'm getting at is I've looked ahead and there is, like, I'm just gonna point out a renewal of Whispering Willows that I didn't even know was a business. And they are a housing, kind of like they rent
cottage rent.
a cottage. But they don't need to show that they have insurance.
No,
Why? Somebody's renting a hut. What if that burns down, those people die? There's no insurance on it.
the onus is on them.
Is it?
Is it?
Sure.
Because it's on the territory.
We
The
have-
onus ultimately is on
We've, and
anybody.
we've said, yes, okay, you're a business. And us as the leaders should have, and that's a policy that we can change. That businesses such as that, maybe not Linda's, but businesses that there is a risk with whatever, like even people on my boat. I brought my insurance into you, showed you that we have the insurance.
But
and
you
everything.
fall under a category where we require insurance.
But why would somebody renting a cottage not need insurance? By our standard, by us.
Yeah,
I
but
think-
that all predates me, so I don't know how this categories were determined. I just go abide by what I was given, so that falls back. I have no idea with past council, how they got this chart.
Okay, so my
It might be a
suggestion is that I
discussion to
think that we
have.
should take a look at the list. And I think that we should, in essence, make a decision that businesses that, such as this Whispering Willows, they should prove that they have insurance on their cottage to us before we approve that they, and also like this one here, maybe not so much as Linda's business because it doesn't have anything, nobody goes to her house. She does everything.
It doesn't
herself.
matter. She's not registered here. She's registered with Ontario. You got nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Okay, well,
We don't.
didn't
I did
know
too.
them because-
okay, well, that's fine.
My business was too. It was registered with Ontario, not here.
Well, that's,
I refuse to do it
And
here.
the Ontario government does not ask anyone.
And exactly, the Ontario
You do
government
not
said
have
I did
to
not
issue
need
insurance.
insurance because you're an online entity.
okay,
It
well,
doesn't
that's
even
yours.
matter what your business is, the Ontario government does not ask you. The onus is on you as a business. We're the only ones that ask for insurance, which I find strange, because I'm used to the other. I've had my own business, nobody requires that I do insurance. You do it because it's a smart thing to do, and the onus is on me. If something
Okay,
happens.
so
then
you're saying that then no way ever in the next million years that, somebody's gonna come after MBQ because we
anybody
approve
will
the
come
message.
after anybody.
Yeah, I know, because it's a scam, and everybody wants to get rich, right?
Well,
So
people
how
can
do
come
we
after you,
protect-
but it doesn't mean you have to pay or you're
How-
gonna lose in the end.
You know, we could talk in circle till the cows come home, because we
Yeah.
really don't know.
Yeah.
We should spend the $500, I hate hiring lawyers, spend $500, have a lawyer sign off saying, you're liable, you're not liable, as the government in place issues permits. $500, then we know.
Well, then we shouldn't be approving any until we have that.
I don't think the Ontario government would accept
I don't care what the
liability.
Ontario government
So-
does, I'm concerned about the
Yeah.
Mohawks, the big
I understand what you're
liabilities.
saying,
I
but
don't
yeah,
give a rat's bum about the Ontario government.
I'm just saying,
All they're gonna do is just say, well, I don't want to be registered here on MBQ then. Well, then fine.
Yep.
They're still gonna go and do what they want to do with it.
yeah.
They're just saying, no, we don't need you anyways. What do you gain
So
by
what's the
being registered with
significance-
MBQ?
what's the
Nothing.
significance of,
Nothing.
registering with MBQ?
There isn't. There isn't any.
Not wholesale.
Been there, done that.
I guess.
Yep,
Yeah, that's usually the only
that's the
reason.
only reason.
It's
get the
becoming,
cigarette quota.
I'm trying to, do a directory, I'm trying to do things to motivate people, trying to say, I can help you if I know you're out there, I'll try to help promote you. And I do, I try to help promote businesses, but on its own, it can be registered or not registered. There's a whole bunch that I don't have and I hear about, but I don't know.
So tax purposes and stuff, when you're doing your, if you're a registered business on the reserve is like, I mean, because I'm gonna do taxes for my charter business. So, does it help being registered to MBQ?
No.
No,
No,
saying that you're a business on reserve. Because if
it
you're a
don't
business
matter, you
off
still
the
use,
reserve, you
just
gotta
use your
pay the
bank
taxes.
card, you still just use your personal bank card.
But if you're a business off the reserve,
Different story.
and is a different story. Even if you have a bank card, you still have to pay taxes.
Yeah, you do, but you don't have, it's still up to you to get the insurance.
So I'm not disagreeing with you on these categories. I have trouble with some of them. Some people come to me with applications and I'm not sure what category to put them in. I'd like to clean that up a little so it's clear. And we can say accommodations, and accommodations should all require insurance if you want. Like, we have hotels and motels on here and we don't require insurance from them. So why would Whispering Willow, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
but why
we
would,
could clean it up. Like,
Why would my boat, then why would my?
you're
charter
under
business-
Marine Enterprises, and Marine Enterprises says I am required to get insurance from you. I don't know who made this chart, I don't know, but I would like to see it cleaned up. That is one thing that I've been hoping, that it could be clearer, so I have better direction, even knowing where to put certain people, and I will get what you need. And when I say it's on file, I have it from you. It's just not in the package, but I've got it there with the application. If I say it's on file, I received it. I
Well,
have
does
it.
it, I don't think it needs to go all over the place.
I'm just not sharing it with everybody. It's kind of private information, actually. So I've got it in the file. I've got an up-to-date insurance when I tell you that, I say
Well,
insurance.
then that's fine, then if,
But some of the
it was just-
categories I
it was a
understand.
question, and if they don't need it, well, then they don't need it.
That's under the current policy, that's what she's saying, she's
Yeah.
following the current policy.
Yeah.
But if you guys wanna make changes, we can certainly have a
Yeah, we can.
separate
That's
discussion.
why I said maybe if we can have a copy or a look at
Well, all your
business.
policies are in, your-
Oh, okay, sorry.
all your policies are still in your council section, so it would be in there.
Yes,
But we can
within the
have-
policy, this chart.
Yeah.
Okay, if you
It would
flip
probably be
through
one of
it,
the
business
appendixes or something.
Registration, it's an appendix at the back of it, and it's in there, and you'll see the chart, how it's laid out. And again, I don't know who made the chart, so I have no, but there would have been.
Well, maybe we should be taking a look at it,
that was in
and just
there.
have a discussion about, what is what, and, yeah.
I would like some more, I think just even with the change of online and different things, I would like to see some more categories, some different ones that we're maybe not covering based on when this was first created. So I think it could be revamped, absolutely. I'm not, and that you decide what you want insurance for or not. I'm happy to get you whatever you need. It's not necessary, in
Could
a
I
lot
get
of
a
cases.
hard copy of that, please?
Yeah,
rather-
you can
rather
have
than-
this one if
Oh,
you want.
okay, perfect, thank you.
Just take that.
Yeah.
Okay?
So then my question is, then if we want to change the policy, should we be doing that first before we be approving any more business registration?
We should have legal background so that we know what the hell we're starting at.
Question.
Because this is a real gray area, we don't know if we're on the hook.
Are we doing, that was my question, Chris.
Well, I
is that
imagine
we're gonna
all of
do
our
first?
policies have been
If
reviewed, so
we're
we
gonna
could
do
talk
that
to
first,
Shushu
then we shouldn't be approving
before we
these business
do
registrations,
any of
correct?
that.
That's my
And
question.
I don't know if there was legal.
Or approve these and
I
then
don't know if that's
defer any
been
others to
addressed.
get cleared.
Maybe it
You have
has.
an answer in a week. Or defer for a week. And we're just, just like that.
Let's defer for a week, find out for
Gosh,
sure.
500
Are you
bucks.
done with?
Okay, so where did the dust land on the insurance, and what, do they know the reason why they're?
Well, I brought up the fact that the policy has a chart of businesses that outlines which ones require insurance, which ones don't. And I follow that.
And
But
so
the
when was that policy change made?
I have to look back at the revised date, but I think it was
Doesn't say.
2018 or 2019 or something. Does that
I don't
sound
know,
right, Angie?
I have to look.
Because I know all businesses used to have insurance,
Since I've been here, which is 3.5 years,
but the council changed it.
it was changed, and I follow a chart that's there that Chris is just looking at, and it has some categories require insurance and some don't.
Which categories don't require insurance and why? Do you know the reason?
I don't have it spelled out, but logically, there's some that would,
For example, haulage and cartage. So hauling like a transport, it's not requiring insurance.
Yeah, because it's inquired under their transport
it
insurance.
would
Falls
be under
under
their
vehicle.
MTO.
It falls under automobile insurance, not business.
Yeah, and I think the Whispering Willows would fall under their home insurance. And I think that's maybe why, I wasn't there, but
So
maybe why.
for
it
these
wasn't
businesses
required.
that don't have insurance, let's say if people come and go and frequent there and could slip and fall, do you have a copy of their house insurance?
No,
No.
So what-
we'd have to require our house.
So there's we have no proof that they have any kind of insurance.
Just as we don't our members. who are
But
out
we're
in the
not
house.
just a regular member, we're not approving them as a business.
Yes,
So we are approving businesses.
yes.
So we should be approving that they, in some cases, have insurance.
Chris?
I can assure council that over the last 30, 40 years, I've seen a lot of lawsuits in this community, and MBQ is on the hook for a lot of them. Simply because somebody else doesn't step up, and insurance companies do this. They name everybody in the lawsuit, and
Yes.
one of the deepest pockets pay. So if you're the homeowner, business owner, you have no insurance, guess who's on the hook? Potentially.
Do you know how?
Spend $500, answer the question.
How
But Chris,
certain-
you raised the question, did a lawyer advise whether you would be on the hook, whether we have insurance or
That's
not?
the $500 question. And I say, motion to get a.
Chief, do you know if that's ever been addressed? Have we ever consulted a lawyer to
Looks like
see
it was revised December 4th, 2017 for
27?
the schedule.
And who made the motion to do it?
I don't know, Chief, I'm looking at the policy on the date that it was updated.
Yeah, it says it in the.
Chris?
I'll
Let's
have
put a
to go
motion
back
on the
and
floor
look.
to get opinion.
We can ask Shushu.
December
She's
4th,
the policy
2017.
analyst.
Is she a lawyer?
Motion
She's our
13.
policy analyst
No, I
here
want a lawyer's
in-house.
opinion. Motion on the floor, chief.
Okay, motion on the floor to
That's
get a
what
legal
legal
opinion
opinion.
on the issue of the required insurance for business registration purposes. So is there a seconder for the motion?
Some form of insurance. As you alluded to, if somebody has a house.
I feel like we should just
somebody's
ask
got,
Shushu
you know,
first. She might have already had it reviewed by a lawyer.
And I guess, but again, if it's a business, does that change the insurance picture? That's the other thing, if people come and go from there.
We've got a counselor that would like to ask Shushu if she's, could we bring Shu in? Please?
She would have made those changes and
Okay.
known the story,
But-
or the history behind it.
Even past conversations that I can kind of recall, for insurance, I know that they raised the fact that Ontario doesn't ask for insurance and that this is what you're asking for, and, I don't recall if there's actually, I don't know about the legal review, I can't remember off the top of my head right now, Chris, about that part, but I know insurance has said, even Ontario doesn't even ask for insurance. Which is right, when you register a business, they don't ask.
Is that perhaps because the province would push the liability back to the municipality? The municipality should have bylaws and zoning in place that says if you run a business, you have to meet this, this, and this. And if you don't run those, you don't get the business.
That's,
You don't get the permit.
that's an interesting question. Why don't I reach out to Belleville and see how they do their registrations and what their requirements are? If you want to,
Shelley?
And,
Okay.
yeah, if you want an officer, or sorry,
Okay, there
like
is a
municipalities
motion.
impact,
I
right?
can ask that question to Belleville for sure.
There's been a motion tabled by one of the councillors to get a legal opinion on the requirement for insurance for business registration purposes. Is there a seconder on that?
I'd like to wait till I hear from Sue.
If she's,
Because
if
she
it's only
might have
gonna be.
already had that legal opinion, I just want to find out if she did.
That's right. If Shu will be back in a little bit, well, let's just, let's ask a question in a little bit when she comes back. And
Okay,
if
so
there's
just
not
hold
been,
it, Chris,
then
until
we
we see
should.
Sue.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
So when Sue is back, just come back in.
Okay.
okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll
Does anybody else want to see this?
So do you want to, do you want to just put this on hold then, the business registration for?
You've got one business registration out that has got insurance, and that's Best Price Fencing.
Insurance is on file for this one?
All the rest of them don't. I just looked through them.
So Best Fencing, Landscaping, Construction.
They have
has
their
it.
insurances on file, chief.
Terry Farrell is the owner and it's a construction contractor, environment for our inspection completed and insurance is on file. Is there a motion to approve this?
All approved.
I'll second, chief.
Chris,
Does it matter that the band number's not on here?
Well, I don't think I had that question as well. There's no band number, and then there's a letter lower down saying that he uses somebody else's property.
There should be a letter that's.
Isn't he over on,
That says it's okay, yeah.
He
So
owns
are
Boozer's
they
old house.
not static?
No, his daughter owns Boozer's old house.
Well, that's where he moved to at first. So now's his daughter got
So
it?
what was the question, Aaron?
Are they not status?
Yeah.
Well,
I think
how
so.
could he become how could he become?
well, then maybe the business registration should amend it, band number, no band number on there.
There's another one that doesn't have a band number either.
Well, we should,
Well, because it says if it's a new application or renewal, it's the renewal of previous permit number. That's why band number's blank.
Is it
But
just
all
not
the
there because
information
it's a
fields
renewal?
should be completed before they bring it to council.
well,
The Sundance trading as well.
we
doesn't
can
have such
ask,
number.
Deanna when she, comes back in about these guys.
Okay, then let's set all of those business registrations aside then, and we will go on to number 11, Hicks Morley invoice while we're waiting for Sue to return. Item 11, motion to pay the Hicks Morley invoices, $280 for legal matters by May 2024, $280 2024. These are usually HR issues. $880 in November 2024, $64 in November 2024, $448 in November 2024, and $384 in 2024, for a total of $2,336. Is there a motion to pay?
I'll motion.
Aaron and Ogwari. Is there anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. Item number 12, Alan Pratt invoices. $482 for the turpentine loss of use. We discussed that this morning. And year to date, we've spent $4,653.50. Motion to pay the $1,482.
Chief.
Chris Brandt,
Second, chief.
she missed it when he did his application, but she does have the original on file with his data.
Okay, well
I
then
thought you
Sorry.
I'll motion that,
Okay, well, just wait till we go back to that, Chris.
Okay, sorry.
So anyway, while you were out, Shelley, item number 11 was motioned. It was moved by Aaron and seconded by O'Barry, and the motion was carried to approve it. And it's been on number 12, it was motioned by Chris Brandt and seconded by Curtis to approve the payment of $1,482 for the Alan Pratt invoice. So the next item of business is 4 Pillars. Needs a motion. Now, the 4 Pillars, they have been awarded $2.8 billion for a class action lawsuit for the loss of language and heritage. And Mohawk Savannah did sign a resolution to be part of that. And so it's an Indigenous-led trust to support work around the revitalization of Indigenous languages, culture, heritage, and well-being. The 4 Pillars Society is a new nonprofit corporation that has been formed to administer the settlement funding. This distribution began in the second week of April, with the FPS beginning releasing planning funds for the 10-year plan development in the amount of $200 for each class member. We have not received $200,000. The initial funds are provided to help each band help develop community investment plans for the 4 Pillars funding for over 10 years for the 20-year funding path. FPR recommends developing a 10-year plan which indicates where your future funding will be targeted and expended to benefit your community in the following 4 key areas: review and vitalization of Indigenous languages, revival and protection of Indigenous culture, wellness for Indigenous communities, and that can be like water, it can be housing, anything that relates to wellness, and promotion and protection of heritage. IMC was well positioned to support and assist band class members in getting a clearer picture of funds that will be available to them through the BRCAS, the settlement fund, and to help band class members develop the 10-year investment plan that is required to complete the requirements of the FPS process and access further settlement funds. That's just a little bit about that. And when did this come in? It's here still. So what they require on November the 4th, Miranda Fleming from the 4 Pillar Society sent this letter. Dear Chief Roderick Miracle, the 4 Pillar Society was established due to the band reparation class action lawsuit, aka the Gottfriedson versus Canada case. Mohawk Savannah is one of the 325 nations to opt into this case. That case has since been won, and a settlement agreement was established. In the settlement agreement, it is said that the trust, not for profit, would be responsible to invest the fund for distributing the fund to the 325 class members to support the 4 Pillar principles. The FPS director was appointed in January 2024, and staff began the process of connecting with the band class members since March of 2024. The FPS, the 4 Pillar Society team, were not part of the legal team or class action. However, they are in place to assist with the distribution of funds over the next 20 years. The team is made up of First Nations people from Haida, Thompson, and Cree. You can visit our website, and the address is there for more information, including the settlement agreement, as well as staff and board of directors. This case was more than 10 years in the making, and for many it has been several years since your chief and council signed a council resolution to opt into the suit. This may be your first time hearing about the case. We've tried contacting your nation through email given us, but have not heard back from you. Please reach out to me and set up a call to answer all your questions. My name is Miranda Fleming, and I'm a member of the Swexmix of Nicola Pambuk Nation in Lower Nicola, British Columbia, and I live currently, it's the 7th land in the Salmon Arm, BC. I am your regional contact at FPS and look forward to hearing from you. Please let me know if we can have a meeting. So I did ask for more information of what this was about in my call, the details, and
I remember seeing an email about that way back in August or.
I've sent information around to the council.
Yeah.
So what they say they require here in this package, which I've just received, is community plan checklist requirements. Submit a void check or signed BCR to the Four Pillars representative. Please note that funds distributed must be sent directly to the band class member community bank account. Payments are made on the 15th and 31st of each month. Signing the attached funding agreement, one-time planning of 200,000. Fill out the attached class band member contract card. Band class members who have received planning funds submit a 5 to 10 year plan with respect to the Four Pillars Society representative. Plans can be submitted after October the 1st. Funds will be distributed upon approval of your community plan. You must include a letter of support from the chief and council. Review pillars and distribution policy regarding restrictions and pillar descriptions. Return Schedule A 5 to 10 year plan. This is not your community plan. If not already completed, sign the funding agreement for one-time planning fund for 200,000. Signing the attached funding for the initial one-time kickstart fund of 400,000. Fill out each attached band class member contract card. Annual kickstart funds, annual entitlement annual report, and on project and budget to be submitted to respective Four Pillars representatives. Submit a band council. Contract card will provide login information in HubShare. Update contact card as needed. Upload documents and view next steps. Each class member is provided 200,000 to develop the community plan. This can be used to hire a consultant. Yearly budget breakdown for 4 years. Provide fund amounts, including yearly cash flows breakdown of Four Pillars using your community plan, ensuring your community plan adheres to the restrict on use policy. Infrastructure plans, construction of new buildings if applicable. Details on how your community plan factors into the Four Pillars 20 funding year, 20 pillars 20 year funding. Expansion inquires on Schedule A. So it's paid for over time. It looks like we have to develop a plan and how we're going to spend this money in those different categories that it's allowed for. Angela has requested more time from council to look into this. And because I didn't get
Well, we
any
have a shortage
feedback
of
from
people
anybody.
too, right? Like,
Can
I don't have an
we,
education, language, and culture
Yeah.
person.
can we just set up the meeting with this person to actually discuss like what is this and what this claim was and how we got
Well,
connected
that's what
to
I
it?
had requested to be done, and Lyle Shipley was the contact person. I did request to be put on the agenda, and it's just now getting on the agenda today. So anyhow, the staff would like more time to do
No, if you
it.
want to have a meeting with them, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's
let's
just
meet with
I-
them so we can get more
we're
information
just
from them.
lacking someone that can take the lead on it.
And
when
do
we
the
don't have
actual-
somebody there.
Proposals or whatever. Yeah,
All right,
that's fine.
then, so can we set a date then when we can have a meeting with the people from this Four Pillar Society, this IMC?
Especially if there's a.
And they can
community
answer any
consultation.
questions
Yeah,
that council has.
Let's just see if they can join one of our meetings, like one of our upcoming meetings.
One of the council meetings.
Yeah,
So we don't have to take
Another
another
separate
day
day.
off, just,
So let's
Right,
schedule,
yeah.
let's schedule for the next meeting, but there is money there, and apparently we have to develop a
That's the
plan
availability.
Yeah.
that fits in this criteria over a multi-year plan. And so you obviously need houses, you need water, there's culture, there's language, and there's heritage projects, and then there's different sources of things you can spend the money on. But you,
I'm sorry, who's the contact person? Who sent that to you?
her name is Miranda, from the Four Pillars.
Fleming.
Who's the executive? director?
Miranda Fleming.
Who's the executive director?
And Lyle Shipley is the one who made the contact with us. So they're the people that are responsible for this fund. And so I guess the ins and outs of it and details they can probably answer your questions. That's why I had suggested we put it on the call for a council call with them so they could answer any questions that the council has.
well, we can reach out to them, yep, absolutely, and ask them if they can, at a certain time, attend one of our meetings. But also let them know that it can't drag on for hours, that we've got a
Well,
time limit of like a half an hour.
Well, it should, I think they can get through it in a half an hour to 45 minutes. I don't see it taking long, because obviously the money is there, supposedly. The thing that really was of concern, we never had any information from the lawyers who represented on this. And so I actually called the department to see, is this real? And they said it was. And so I presume that it's all legal. And so I guess, but they have the information and supposedly have this $2.8 billion. But I have not seen any press statements either about this settlement. So I was just concerned, so I did make some
Absolutely.
checks. We could have a lawyer look into it as well, if you wanted to, but again, it's, apparently there's others that have said they have received money from this.
Well, let's start with.
But I
finding out
do
there.
know the council, when they did, when the lawyers were looking for people that wanted to become part of the class action lawsuit, the council did sign a resolution to become part of it.
When was that?
Oh, it's been about 3 or 4 years ago. There was a motion of council to do, or a resolution.
Can we find out when that was?
Find the resolution?
Well,
You don't have to do it right now, but like,
yeah, yeah, a good idea is just to have a meeting with them,
yeah,
but, I don't think that we should be spending.
So Lyle
money to-
Shipley is called the senior social
no,
IMC.
we'll just meet with them.
Yeah, we'll meet with them. Don't spend money on lawyers to look into it, let's just,
Like I just said, we would be very reluctant to give our banking information to somebody that we don't know.
Absolutely.
that's, I think I read that in that email that you forwarded to us about Four Pillars, and that kind of struck me as weird that, they would want, that kind of stuff.
I said normally we would pay by check or electronic transfer or something like that, but we wouldn't normally give our bank information.
That's how you pay, or that's how you get electronic transfers,
Yeah,
is giving them your bank information.
yeah.
So, but yes, we'll contact this Lyle Shipley to ask for availability at one of our meetings.
Yeah,
Sounds
I've
good
already
to me.
called him. Actually, I have his phone number. We can set it up now if you want. When's our next council?
We're live, I don't think that we should
No.
Let's,
call
well,
them when
do
we're
it that way.
live.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
So there will need a motion then to approve to schedule Four Pillars.
I'll,
I'll second.
yeah, I'll push it.
And if you have plans, I think there may be a possibility to even accelerate your contribution. Again, all these details they have, I don't know. So who will make a motion then to schedule the meeting? Chris Brandt?
Yes.
And who will second it?
I will.
Aaron? Okay. Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. The next item of business is the Onwa visit to the community. They're collecting data, hopefully to increase the Ontario Welfare Administrators' salaries and stuff like that, administrative expenses. And so is there a motion for them to come and meet here and collect data? If so, we need approval.
I move.
I'll second.
Linda and Aaron, is there anybody opposed? Seeing none, to sign this letter, giving them permission. So the letter is dated January the 7th. To give permission for Onward to collect this information. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. Request to share presentation. Request to share the slide deck. The request from the Chiefs of Ontario, Chief Diabo of Gunn to share the slide deck during the Air Caucus in November 2024.
I'll motion that, that we, allow, but am I allowed to, that I said on,
Yeah, it's not a personal conflict.
okay,
You don't personally
No.
benefit from it.
Wrong, doesn't matter. He just wants a hard copy.
that this was having to do with, M&R.
Yep,
Sounds good.
Okay. Who seconded?
Surprise.
I did.
Oh,
Uh,
Curtis seconded.
I second it, chief.
Well, Chris Brandt and Curtis.
Just,
Come on in. Kick your shoes off.
Okay. Now, that's approved. Now we will go back up to number 5. So the issue, Shu, is about the insurance. Why do some businesses not have to have insurance? And there was a motion made, I think you said 2017, Angela,
I said December 4th, 2017 is when they made changes to
to
Schedule
change
1.
the policy
or
about
I, or
insurance.
whatever
And
it
do you
is.
know why, is there, I can't remember the reason why they did it, but I do know that they changed the policy.
So when we changed the Schedule 1, we actually just put like things with like, we didn't change the parameters. In terms of insurance, no businesses require insurance, but council asks that specific businesses have insurance or certification for their field. So for example, chiropractor, or let's say a dentist opens
So the
up.
businesses don't have to have insurance, none of them?
There are specific businesses within our policy that council has requested have insurance. The rest of them don't require insurance. Like a consultant doesn't require insurance, if I'm not mistaken. Like I don't have the list memorized.
Send it back.
Let me see. Oh, I just thought you know.
Consultants,
That's Mrs.
they don't.
Yeah, so like a
my
consultant,
notes.
like, so if you're requesting that a specific nature of a business requires it, you'll have to go through the list and let us know what ones you want switched to yes.
Okay,
From no.
let's say it's a shop of some kind and somebody goes there, it's crafts, and somebody comes and goes to buy stuff and they slip and fall. Does their house insurance cover that, or do they need special business
Well, it's not
insurance
a
for that?
home though, right? So if it's a home, that's different, entirely different.
But if you're
thing.
operating a business from home, is special insurance required?
If you choose to get special insurance, a special liability insurance for your home run business, it would, I have no idea. I'm assuming it'd
because
be a
the-
separate
the-
rider on your
the-
home insurance, but
But they don't.
insurance is recommended by every level of government in terms of a operation of business. It's not mandatory.
So now our question is that if somebody, it doesn't take insurance and we approve the business
To operate without insurance?
without insurance, do those people come after MBQ? So that's what we're
in-
trying to
in
protect
life,
ourselves.
They'll go after everybody they can. So if I hit a
And that's
pothole,
us.
we're gonna go after everybody. Every lawyer will go after anyone they think could.
Okay.
And it doesn't even matter if they're approved, like if they're a business without a business registration, a good lawyer is also gonna sue you too, because you didn't force
To
them
show you how
register the
bizarre it
business.
can be, there was a car accident down on 49 Highway.
We're not going to use names while we're live streaming, right?
Pardon me?
No names.
I won't
We're live
mention it.
streaming, don't use
I'm
names.
no, I'm not putting names for it, but there was
Okay.
a car accident. A person was driving a vehicle with no light, no insurance, permits board, a license plate board for another vehicle. He had been banned from driving, and there was a death involved. And so the insurance company went after the ban, saying that there was a drinking establishment they apparently had went to see if they could play music or something at a birthday party. The accident happened after that, and so they said, well, the band didn't do a good job with the police enforcing the laws of drunk driving on the highway, and as a result of that, the band became liable. We had never authorized liquor to be sold from that any business there, and so there was no involvement of the band at all, but yet our insurance had to pay $40,000 for a nuisance case. And so that's just how bizarre this whole thing can get.
I think our point is that would happen anyways, and it's not really whether it's registered or not.
And the and the
Just
people
or as
fled.
insurance, and that's the
Yeah.
way things.
So
And so
for
the-
rental properties, just for some clarity, if I'm a tenant in an MBQ rental unit and I'm operating a business, that is a process that has to go through both business registrations and housing to ensure that they do have a proper liability.
Then there was another case where the ambulance couldn't get it over because a private roadway wasn't maintained. The ambulance and fire emergency services couldn't get there. They sued over it. And again, I understand that the band's insurance had to pay there too. There was a fuel leak up a number of years ago up along the highway in Shannonville. And the band licensed that businesses. The inspections were done by TSSA and it leaked. And as a result, Hastings County went after the van, and once again, the van's insurance had to pay when we were not operating a gas station, where we were not deriving any revenue from it, but yet we were on the hook for the.
Yeah, and that will
yet
happen
we
regardless.
registered it, we got insurance, we did all the right steps, and we still, so. I
So the
think
ban
that's
was
the
not
point.
negligent in any of those cases. It's just what the lawyers decided to reach and go after and really had money. So they usually.
That's right. That's
So
what they do.
rather than the insurance company fighting in court, it was easier for them to give a small amount of payment and be done with it. And that's what they did.
Right. Regardless, council approved this policy.
I have
with
always been
this
an advocate for
schedule,
insurance.
And as such, if council wants this policy changed in any way, and if, again, there's going to be unintended consequences in terms of registrations maybe lapsing because
So-
of the new requirements. It's like also that caution of reaching so far into that business, who is running that business beyond supporting an entrepreneur to open up in the
So
community.
with gas stations, we had asked for the regular TSSA inspections be done. If necessary, the Electrical Safety Authority inspections be done. And that they have environmental insurance, so that if the gas station leaks, then there's an insurance policy to fall back on the cleanup and whatever fallout there is. Damage to other people's property or their drinking water wells or whatever. And in the past, that is the policy, but again, some of the insurances had
But that is.
had the
that
environmental
is
insurance
in
and
the
some of them didn't
policy
have
and a
it.
requirement in the current policy.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a specific question that's not
But
being asked. and I'm not-
that was in the policy ever since that time we had to pay that from that gas that occurred in 2001 or
Somebody asking
2002.
for a business of renting cottages that do not require, and under that policy right there, there's no insurance needed.
Right.
So, and we say, okay, well, that's fine, you're a legal business then, as far as we're concerned, but they don't have insurance on that.
Okay.
On those cottages, so what happens if something actually happens?
The
know,
individual
the way
is
I'm look-
liable.
Yeah, the way I'm seeing it is they're gonna come after us no matter what anyways. The insurance, whether they have insurance or not, somebody's still gonna come after us because they
Well,
can.
first of all, they won't come straight to the band, they will go after whoever was liable like that.
Everybody would be named in the same lawsuit.
Chris?
Yeah,
Everybody gets named. It's a big long paragraph.
I agree with Ogwari, they come after the ban, but if you've shown due diligence, then it mitigates our liability. But if you just kind of do one of these, and half hour ago, I said, you know what, get a legal opinion, because we went around the table, and none of us really know, and here we are an hour later still talking, saying, we don't really know, but we're gonna talk about it for the next hour.
So
Okay.
if that's actually the specific question of getting a legal opinion, that's perfectly fine. The parameters of that should be considered, that lapse of business registrations, but the businesses will continue to run as a business. If I'm running an Airbnb, I'll continue to run an Airbnb without insurance and without a registration from MBQ. So then what happens? Because MBQ will still be sued.
So for your benefit, you missed the prior discussion, and the discussion what Chris is saying. I stay at one of those places, I slip and fall because they didn't put salt down. They're gonna sue them. If they don't have insurance, they're gonna sue us because we issued the permit.
We're
We
still
did
gonna
not-
sue you because they don't have a permit. They're still gonna be
But that-
operating.
but the
without-
fact that we issue a permit to somebody running a business with liabilities, and we didn't ask for the insurance, knowing there's liabilities,
Okay.
I think it exposes us to significant
little
Do
liability.
bit
you
more
wanna only,
Obviously.
so do you wanna only register businesses that currently require insurance?
What Chris is saying, we're saying
the
is that if
consultant
you run
and
a
all
home
the other
business, you should have some form of insurance
But
to
but
mitigate
that-
our exposure.
So if policy
without it-
dictates that
with-
insurance is recommended, which
Okay.
follows
So first,
external policies for
Okay,
municipalities, the province and others. So insurance is a recommendation, it's not mandatory. The
Okay.
province provides a registration for a business. They don't require it to have insurance, and a municipality doesn't even require you to have.
okay,
fire
let's go
insurance.
back to the beginning of when we started issuing business permits. The reason for issuing business permits started with tobacco. When there was a lot of tobacco sold to non-natives tax-free, they put a quota on First Nations tobacco. And what happened after that, the only way they could access it is if they prove they had a legitimate store. So therefore, we had to issue business permits so they could go and buy wholesale.
A store.
And that
without
was the whole
insurance.
purpose of the business permits
Because
in the
you have to
beginning,
prove it.
was to enable businesses to buy wholesale for retail purposes.
Oh, I
And these
understand
stores
that.
didn't need
I-
insurance? Or you didn't have to prove that you
But
had
then
insurance?
different councils have come and then expanded to be more than that. But the whole purpose was just to enable a business to buy wholesale.
And if I can address earlier, Chris, we talked about Belleville, you said maybe it would fall back on the municipality if there was an occurrence in Ontario, like, none of the municipalities, register businesses. So you have to register properties as commercial, but what entity in there, they don't require them to have, there's no registration like what we have.
Right. But any
Municipalities don't.
commercial property has to prove insurance.
On the
Yeah,
books.
every,
No, they
oh,
don't.
okay, yeah, all right.
What I'm saying is no
Well,
municipality.
It's just recommended, like,
Tobacco.
with anything, it's recommended. And so there are businesses that self-insure for that very reason, because they know that setting that money aside to themselves is going to take care of itself if something goes wrong. So they are like squirreling away their money, but they're not giving it to an insurance company. But that, if you want the policy reviewed, like if that's the actual question of having the policy reviewed, determining what level of liability comes back to council, and then, you know, a big discussion around what are the unintended consequences of that in terms of lapse of registration, businesses operating anyway, and how you want to deal with that, as well as the drop in the quota, like the
It's about good
requirement
governance.
for the
What's
quota.
required to satisfy good governance and protect the ban from liability?
There is no protection. That is, and the store.
Or at least
doesn't have-
limit the risk.
There is no, I mean, if all the businesses want to become a business and we don't know if they have insurance and they don't, we're not protected anyway, so it doesn't matter. Might as well just carry on the way we always carried on.
A judge might say that, a
That's all.
judge might say that the ban is liable, a judge might say if you're running a profit business and you keep 100% of the profit from that business, 100% of the liability belongs to the owner.
I think the best we could do as a community, from my point of view, is put out information about how important it is to have insurance, that each one of us should
Okay.
protect yourself.
The council just would like to know from a legal perspective what the liability is for the ban by issuing these permits without insurance. Is there any?
That's the motion on the floor.
Yeah. So that's Chris's motion, as I understand it correctly. Is there a seconder for that motion?
I just have a quick question. In all the time that you were developing these policies, have you ever had that chance or that opportunity to speak to a lawyer about some of these issues?
No,
In the past.
so this policy was developed long before I started. We did revamp elements of it, but we did it based on our own research and understanding. So reaching out to see what businesses in the province have to get registered, what businesses
Okay.
council wanted registered with insurance, and then of course how it's really married with the quota and wholesale permit.
So the business registration permit started in the early 1980s when Chief Hill was chief because of the tobacco quota. That's where that started.
And there wasn't insurance required and stuff like that, which is probably.
They didn't.
People were selling stuff out of their trunk.
Because all they could do is buy tobacco for resale. That's all it was, nothing else. That the council certified they had a legitimate store and they were running a business and they had access to buy wholesale. That's all those business permits were put in place to facilitate.
And I think if I'm not, like, just for clarity, for me, you're looking at having businesses to have general liability insurance.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think with the gas station leaks that happened in the early 2000s, they did have insurance, but it didn't provide for environmental damage. And so the devil is in the details. It didn't have any specific information about environmental. And they said, then their insurance company said you have to have a separate policy for environmental insurance.
Yeah,
for a gas station.
environmental insurance, environmental restoration insurance it's like actually not a required, it's not a thing. It's not a specific.
So the
It's
impact
not
of that,
rider.
to show you how that
Yeah.
impacted the
Some people-
community,
Some people want to self-insure for the environment.
Mhm. So people
to show you
do
how that
self-insure.
impacted the community, on the south side of the highway west of Shannonville, that used to be the David Dyes property where Kajitiminkum is west of there, that whole field there is, that was put it's being held in Canada by trust, and it could not be converted to reserve land until that whole gas leak damage on that side of the road was dealt with. And so XCG drilled a number of test wells. It was monitored, but there never was any cleanup. And so they expected that it was going to resolve itself through something called natural attenuation. And so we need to know, because right now that property is still held by Canada in trust for the band. And so the property sits there undeveloped. There was talk about having a golf course there at one time and different businesses that the band can own there. But again, that's something we need to have a conversation with ISC about. So Ernest Matiso was the environmental health officer, and then John Hyam after, concerning that. And that's
Let's, what are we doing about this insurance thing here?
well, anyway, if there's a seconder for Chris's motion to get a legal opinion, that's what we'll do. So the question before council now, is there a seconder for Chris's motion to get a legal opinion? Is there a seconder?
I'll second it if it's going to,
It'll shed more light on the issue.
I mean, we've got questions about it. There's questions, so let's get the questions answered.
So it's been moved by Chris Miracle and seconded by Chris Brandt. Is there anyone opposed? Anyone opposed? Chris is saying no. Aaron?
No, I'm fine.
Linda?
I'm good, I think.
Macquarie?
At least we should
Okay, the
get
motion
some
is carried then.
clarification.
Hold on.
And,
Shoot.
okay, so what lawyer and whose budget?
You might want to check with
Yours and yours.
Harold Van Winston. He can probably tell you somebody. He wouldn't be the one. He's a corporate lawyer. But he might be able to tell you they're an environmental lawyer.
Yeah, potentially them, or we could always ask.
It would be more,
If we want more of an individual.
it would be more of a civil lawyer, because obviously the band's going to be it would be a civil action relating to the environment.
Did you say it?
I was going to say, if we want, even considering it from an indigenous perspective, we could ask Sarah who we could talk to.
The only other lawyer that was involved with
Yeah.
with that kind of liability
Yep.
was somebody by the name of, from Soloway, where Donna Crabtree was the lawyer that dealt with that car accident issue, that reaching over into the van for liability. Her name was Donna Crabtree, and she was with Soloway Wright Law Office in Ottawa.
I'd be comfortable with you.
How I know about it, because I was grilled on the stand for over an hour.
Yes, Chris?
Chris?
You know who would know? Our insurance company.
No, well, not our insurance company.
Okay, I strongly suggest you make it a free call to the insurance company. They'll give you a quick yes or no. We can talk about it.
Okay,
Anyways,
let's go through these business
we'll figure it out.
permits while you're here.
Thank you.
Don't run away.
Oh, you
We're-
want us to stay here? Okay.
and quick.
Was there other than?
And numbers missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the band number,
Two, and I have them, I apologize for that. I sent it through before I got them on my copy. I have both of them.
Perfect.
I can
Okay.
bring them in before.
Nope, trust
I
you.
apologize.
okay, so anyway, let's just make sure all the information fields are completed and it doesn't raise questions at council. So the first business registration that was moved by Varian and seconded by Curtis for Little Owl, the owner was Melanie Gray, Arts and Crafts Studio. Fire inspection completed, insurance not required for the business registration purposes. And the question was asked, why is insurance not required? And it's as per band policy approved by council in 2017.
By that chart, yeah.
Mhm.
So does this motion stand?
I thought we were deferring them now.
Well, I said we would deal with it all when Shu and Lisa and Diane were here. So does the mover and seconder still wish to proceed with this motion? Barry's good with it, Curtis?
I thought did we not say you were gonna,
Defer
Get
them
a legal
until we
opinion?
found this
yeah,
opinion.
I thought you were just gonna do the ones that already had the insurance in your band. Correct. Is that not right or no?
Yes.
So are we
that's what
putting
I
the ones
understood.
on hold then?
Wasn't that the question?
Yes, that
But
was
there
what
was,
was
there was already a
proposed.
motion,
Okay,
so
well
that
then-
motion will have to be withdrawn then.
Yeah, we'll have to withdraw.
So Aguirre, you withdrawing the motion?
Sure.
Okay,
Till we get the clarity.
and so then it's deferred then. So Aguirre and Curtis, are you deferring it?
Yes, Chief.
5.
Number 5.
So no, so instead of approving number 5, it's now deferred.
Okay.
Okay. We are on number 6 now.
No.
No insurance,
Same.
so we'll need a motion to defer this. We'll move.
Yeah, all motion.
Chris Brandt is deferring.
It's gotta be.
Who'll second it? I have to follow the agenda it's on it here. Who'll second it?
I'll second you.
Linda? Anyone opposed? It'll be deferred. We get this insurance question settled. Chris?
Could we potentially get an answer from the lawyer? Okay, that, it's gonna take 2 seconds for them, and then staff can approve these without bringing it back once they've received clarity on whether we.
No,
need
we
to-
either have to, we
Let's
can,
just
we
deal
can
with it
approve
right
it,
now.
or approve it, decline it, or
No,
defer it.
no, okay.
So the next one, insurance was on file for the business treasurer for best fencing, and that was moved by Chris and seconded by Curtis.
Yeah.
You have his band card, right?
And he's got a band card.
I got the band card, I got the insurance.
That's what we were.
Yeah.
we needed to-
Okay, and he has a band number,
Mhm.
Yes,
so you can just fill in the band number there,
I have it on my copy. I'm sorry you got it earlier.
but he is a band member, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was with membership with Bonnie.
Okay, so that's been moved by Chris Brandt and seconded by Curtis Brandt. Anybody opposed? Seeing none, the motion is carried. Number 6 for Randy's leather. Insurance was not required. Why is that?
Same reason all the other ones were not required.
Just as per policy? So that has to be deferred. then. Okay, thank you. Number 8. Sundance Trading, insurance is not required. The owners, Isaiah Miracle, environmental inspections have been completed, no insurance on file. Is this one deferred or?
He's a general retailer, and according to that, we don't need insurance for general retail.
You don't need
You
insurance?
want it deferred, so you want.
Of general retail, meaning,
Do people come to his
do
business to
people
buy?
come onto his property?
Yes.
Then we'll defer.
So who's moving to defer it?
Sorry.
Chris Grant?
Oh, no, yeah, so either way. Me or Linda.
Okay, I heard Chris, his voice first. Are you seconding Linda?
Yes.
Second by Linda. Is anyone opposed to deferring it? Seeing none, motion is carried. The next issue is Susie Lynn's Boutique. Susie Lynn, the owner of Susie Lynn Boomhauer, it's a new location, environmental insurance inspections completed, insurance not required for business registration purposes. I guess 2 people come and go from there.
She would, yes, she was approved 6 months ago at a different location. It's just been resubmitted because she changed her location. So I had
So
a
is this-
re-environment and a refire.
Is this approved or declined or deferred?
Well, if she's asking again, well, we'll have to do the same thing. We'll have to defer.
Okay, and who will move to
I'll
defer?
move that.
Is there a seconder?
Chief, second.
Chris, you're seconding it?
Yes, Chief.
Chris Miracle. Is anyone opposed? Anyone opposed to deferring it? Seeing none, the motion is carried. Whispering Willows on the Bay. The owner is Ben and Barbara Brandt. It's a cottage rental, environmental fire insurance completed, insurance not required for business registration purposes.
That's the one you wanted to first, for sure.
You have to defer that one too, chief.
We will defer it.
I will, chief.
I'll second.
Curtis and Linda is moving.
I think that takes place.
Anybody opposed to the deferring it? Anyone opposed?
Did you
Seeing
think I was
none,
sleeping?
the motion's carried.
Hey, chief,
Just stretch my neck.
chief, I got an add-on I forgot to send it to Shelley this morning.
Are we done with this so they can?
Well, it's
Oh, you need.
involvement here. So it's the visit the county board. They're looking for a second representative for their board.
The county, Hasty County School Board,
No, the visit the county tourism board.
or the
The one that I'm
tourism.
a part of.
Okay, you did what, you're the rep on that, right?
Yes, they're looking for a second rep and they're preferring an employee rep. So they asked about.
Is there any volunteers beyond the Hasty County Tourism Board?
He said they asked about me.
You want
They asked about Deanna being a rep because she's also a
Okay,
rep.
are you willing to serve on that board, Deanna?
Sure.
Okay, we'll need a motion to appoint Deanna as a second. rep.
Surprise.
Motion.
Did that not sound complicated?
Okay. It's been moved by Chris to appoint Deanna as the second representative.
I'll second
of
it.
Hasty County Tourism Board.
I'll
And it's seconded by.
It's the visit the county one.
There you go. You got none, Joe.
Chris, no.
Thank you.
No, he won't. Or when there's total spot. I didn't know I'd have to say. That's what surprised me.
Now are we done with that?
Yeah.
So anyway, we've dealt with number 11, it was approved, number 12 was approved.
Okay,
Number-
thanks for.
Thank you both.
Adam, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, you, I appreciate that.
The 4 pillars has been approved. The visit to the community has been approved. The request to share the side deck has been approved. Speed cameras.
I think we already discussed the
I
speed
thought we
cameras.
discussed this too.
What became of it?
We
Well,
said
it's
no
expensive.
because it's $1
We-
million
no,
of
they're- no,
fees.
they're-
How
no,
are we
it's
gonna
expensive.
get
The
that?
question was, can the OPP supply it?
Well,
Out of what budget?
And we have
That's
no,
their problem.
we have no,
They
What-
don't
like,
supply.
I don't understand. Like,
Processing
where
for the
benefit to
tickets.
community would be.
There
Like,
is no
yeah, it
benefit.
slows people down, but the money doesn't go cover, like nothing.
Where do speeding tickets fines go now?
Basic county.
Hastings, yeah.
No, some of it comes back to the bank.
Not very much.
Not very much of it.
Actually gets charged.
We only get a percentage. We don't get the whole fine money.
I think we've already looked into what the cost of those cameras were. It was $1 million or more.
Over 250.
And then you have to pay
It's a
somebody
cost
to
of,
monitor.
I'm not suggesting for 1 second we pay for it. I'm just, the OPP declined their request,
I don't
we
think they
never
fund
said we
that
were
kind
gonna
of thing.
ask them.
so why can't we ask them? What are we doing to slow people down?
They will say it's a First Nations roadway,
Mhm.
and it's up for the First Nations to pay for that if they wanted. They pay for police officers, for salaries, for buildings, a contribution toward the utilities. They supply vehicles, uniforms, guns, phones, but this kind of thing seemed to be the government.
It was more so as somebody posted it and I thought, yeah, let's get that back.
It
on
would be
the
under,
table.
it should be under your health and safety, if you feel that speeding and the highway is a safety concern, then you would address that probably through the open LP distribution would be under health and safety.
We're gonna go standalone anyways.
Well,
And they would say that, it's a First Nations police service that has jurisdiction to police that First Nations road. It's not a provincial highway. If it was highway number 49, then there might be some liability on the part of the province to deal with that because it's designated a provincial highway. The
And
King's
also-
Highway 49.
And also at that discussion, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought at that discussion, when we were talking about that, didn't we also ask could we see what the cost would be if we went to the humps in the road to stop with the speed or have those,
Speed
remember
bumps.
those signs we talked about?
Yeah, Chris has raised the issue.
Of the road.
Chris has raised the issue that speed bumps should be placed at the
Well, I
community
thought
center.
we had asked to see what the cost would be.
Okay, and that's true,
Like
Linda. I
between
recall
one or
that
the other.
conversation at council.
Yeah,
So Angela, if you
it
could
was-
talk with
I
staff
think-
on speed
wasn't there-
bumps at the community center. Community center. You're correct, you're correct.
Yeah. Since we've lowered the speed there, you can notice they have slowed down.
They have,
But you still get the odd person that tailgates you, beeping their horn, saying speed up, and that just makes you go slower, just to piss them off some more.
actually, I had that.
I'm just saying it has slowed down considerably,
Do you
Chief.
know who
That
the
I've
worst ones are?
noticed.
The worst ones that are people that are driving
That I've
aren't
noticed.
patient, they want to get around you
But when that
if you're
you've
obeying the
noticed-
speed limit.
that you've noticed, and you're only there periodically. Where
Periodically.
I am living right
You're
just
there.
down the road, and people are actually passing through that area.
Oh, no, I said, to be honest, it doesn't matter what the speed limit is.
Yeah.
People drive how they want to drive,
But,
unless it's enforced.
yeah,
No, I have seen the police have radar checks in different places and they are doing their job.
yeah, they are. But speed bumps will slow people down. Narrowing of the road like they do. And in our biggest concern at the time was how do they plow the roads?
Well,
You know,
that was the other
there's
question.
always-
So they put it in, and then they go by, and then they hit it, and they peel it right out. Then what? Like, I don't know.
Those traffic calming measures are something that's really designed for summertime months only.
Yeah, but every place else has those in place, deal with it too. Like,
Yeah,
why
they
can
do.
we not?
I know in the city of Kingston, they have those traffic calming measures, like those posts in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Come November 15th, they're all out of the road.
Cause the guy's hitting them.
No, because the town will take them out because they're interfering with the plowing. They'll take a post.
The
right
ones
out of
that
ground
I've
and then
seen in
go-
Kingston, the cement work comes into there and they have cement medians in that area.
I'm talking about the posts that go in the middle of the road to slow people down.
Yeah,
They come out.
Same
Same with the ones that for the bike lanes and everything else, they all come out because it's,
Okay,
you can take more.
anyway,
so what, Chris has put this on, what do you want done, Chris, with the speed
I just
cameras?
want to revisit the whole discussion, and I couldn't remember why, and I'm not, and do we ever ask OPP to?
no.
We can write a letter if you'd like, but I can tell you the answer's gonna be no.
Well, you know what, write a letter, if they say no,
Then you got your answer.
then that's where right now we're with the letter, so.
And maybe we gotta reduce the speeds on other other roads. Like it doesn't work.
Everything else, everything is slowed right down. You take a drive around the community and most of the community is 60 kilometers, down to 40 kilometers. Most of the community, other than the 49, is 80.
The traffic has slowed down on the
And
Bay Shore Road
80
too,
from
they've slowed down.
the old band office or the old school down to the corner. That's at 60 now. Well, it's now.
I'll tell you what I do is I set my cruise control, but sometimes I forget to jack it down when the speed limit changes from 50 to 60 to 50 into 40.
Yeah, I
60,
had to
60
really
kilometers
rely
and
more on
I'm
my
driving 60 and guys are passing me on the Bay Shore. Like I'm pulling my boat and guys are, like, I mean, they're doing 100 on the 60
These,
on the Bay Shore.
these ELDs we have in the fuel trucks at work, they read the speed limit signs, and if you're more than, I think it's 7 kilometers, what that sign says, the thing starts screaming at you, telling you to slow down, and
That's on dash, the dash
Okay,
cameras
yeah,
and
dash
motive,
cams.
the motive, that's our truckers apps. They
Okay,
do the
so-
same thing.
So anyway,
yeah, that's what we have is motive.
Shaking truckers around.
there's Chris would like us to write a letter to ask the OPP for speed camera funding. Is there a second for that?
Maybe an action item, Chief, I don't know, maybe it doesn't even get an action item.
You know what,
Just
I'll
wanna have
second
the
it.
conversation.
It's just a question, you know what, let's ask the question. If they
Anyway,
do, great.
I
If they
prefer
don't,
motions,
I'll
Chris,
go
because then
fucking-
there's a record of the decision.
Sure.
It was a council motion, so is anybody opposed to the motion to ask for the money? But don't hold your breath expecting it, okay? Motion's carried.
Maybe we can use the 4 pillars money for that.
What would the well-being, wouldn't it? Okay, so then we had the adoption of the private, so the We're in the private minutes. Actually, you want to discuss Iroquois caucus planning, strategic
We
planning.
don't start the private stuff if we're still live.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a couple issues here yet too?
No, Chris wanted the Iroquois caucus planning meeting. That's all I have for the public portion of the agenda, with the exception of Chris wanted a discussion whether the planning, Iroquois caucus
She
planning
voted.
should be.
She was requested on the last meeting that it be in private, and her reason was stated on the agenda.
Is Sue ready for Iroquois caucus planning? Strategic planning?
Motion to go in camera? Is that what we need?
Well, Chris had wanted to ask the question why it should be in camera, so let's answer that question, then we'll make the decision to go in
I
camera
think
or
it should be
stay
in camera
public.
because your caucus has to be in camera.
But normally, if there's sensitive issues, with somebody that you're at odds with, like, this whole media legislation, you don't want to show your hand publicly before how you're going to deal with that issue. There may be issues that they want to have a conversation with the government. You don't show your hand publicly before you meet with them. If these are sensitive issues. So I don't know what
the Iroquois caucus stuff.
what the border crossing issues are, and there may be issues there that we need to take, that are highly sensitive, that we need to take into consideration. Again, I don't know. And so until we need to know what's on the agenda in terms of strategic planning to know what's sensitive and what may not be. And until the plan has been developed, when the plan is developed, then maybe it's public. But the making of the plan should be a confidential, or it shouldn't be public until, because people run away with it. Well, they said this and they said that. Meanwhile, it was a discussion and not a decision. Chris?
Has there ever been an analysis that we spent this many millions over the last 15, 20 years?
Well, we haven't spent millions, Chris. We give $10,000 a year.
No, but I mean, when we send entourages, what have we received over the years as a benefit of the resources we put into it? The money, that's chicken feed, but when you send 3 or 4 staff, 3 or 4 counselors.
Well,
I find the meetings very beneficial. They're talking about things that affect all of our communities at this level, like at the working level. And it's very insightful to get information from other communities that are dealing with the same things that we're dealing, or other things, or they have people that are at the court level and they share what they're doing at that level, or with the ministry and the Métis issues. Like, it's fantastic. I thoroughly think that it is very important.
I understand what you're discussing, but what tangibly has changed in this community as a result of pumping millions into it?
They did provide some money to help offset some of the expenses for the Martin hunting case in Prince Edward County. We did get some money there. I think do you recall what the number was? 14,000 or something like that. They did provide, and they have.
But how much did we put out, Chief?
Well, it cost
$1 million over the years?
We didn't cut. It was nowhere near $1 million, but it was a few.
I'm curious how much we spend annually.
It's not millions. It's
50,
definitely
20.
not millions.
I'm curious.
We've already provided that information to council at that cost and the offset of what we've got reimbursed from the Iroquois caucus. Sue can tell us when she comes in. Is she here?
She was just here.
It's just here.
No, but this Iroquois, we were supposed to discuss this Iroquois strategic planning session
Private.
today. No, but bring her in. Chris wanted to know why it wasn't going to be public.
No, that's okay, Chief. That's okay.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, you said sensitive, so that's okay.
Okay, so it could be sensitive. I don't know what it's all about. So until I know, not in a position to answer that question. So anyway, we'll need a motion then to go in camera, and then we'll bring her in. We'll have the discussion. Linda?
I'll second.
A motion to go in camera has been moved by the council. I'd like to thank anybody who's listening online, and I wish you all Osa Razi, which means Happy New Year in our language. Osa Razi, say what way?